What in the supercalifragilisticexpialidocious are y'all doing with Brayden? So we just supposed to sit back and watch him go out as a fiend? I don't think so. Thank you. Next. Hey y'all, welcome to my channel Reviewed, where we talk about all things television and film from today and yesteryear. So I just wanted to hop on here today and give my quick 2 cents on the last episode of Ghost POWERBOOK 2. I think it said we have like 3 episodes left of the season before the series finale, and I have no idea where this is going. Let's get to it. So the episode starts out with Diana in the hospital, and Tyreek is there. He's comforting her and he's telling her, he's sorry, because of course we learned that the baby got stomped up out of her. And to me, why was this even necessary? Why was it necessary for her to be pregnant and then for this to be the outcome of it, especially at someone else's hands? Like, come on. The fact that Don and his goons are a problem, I'm sure it could have been another route y'all could have taken versus having Diana get into an altercation with somebody. And furthermore, the fact that while she was getting stomped out, not one time did Diana utter to the woman, "I'm pregnant." So that made no sense to me at all. But anyway, Monet ends up at the hospital. She finds out that Diana, lost the baby, and Diana ends up telling her that it was Don's goon that basically did this to her. So we get a scene where Rashad finds out that his brother is officially gone to be with the Grim Reaper. And let me tell you something, Rashad was not here for it, baby. He told Don, "I don't care what you got to do. Y'all going to find the mother effers that did this to my brother." And I'm thinking to myself, sir, he's sitting right there. The person that you're up here telling needs to find the person that offed your brother is sitting in your face. He is the one who did it, dear. But baby, Dom is all chill and calm. It's like, "I'm sorry for your loss. We're going to do everything we can to bring this person in. We're going to find the person that did this to your brother." And Rashad was like, "I'll make sure you let me know when y'all get him, because I want to see the mother effer." He's just going off. I love me some Lorenz Tate. Okay. So Tyreek makes his way back to campus. He lets Brayden know that Diana was attacked and she lost the baby. They're having a conversation, and a dude from the group, from the parties or whatnot, he shows up and he basically lets Tyreek and Brayden know that they are cutting ties with them and they don't want to have nothing else to do with them. He was like, "I know y'all pushing y'all dope through our parties." And I'm like, Brayden, what did you expect? You popping up on stage acting a whole fool because you high as a kite, okay? Higher than Mary Poppins umbrella. And people are picking up on it. Like, nobody wants to deal with that. So now Tyreek and Brayden got to figure out what they're going to do to keep their money coming in. So here we have Don telling his crew that Rashad, Tate's brother, is basically taking a dirt nap, and that he wants to do all he can to make sure that they catch the guy who did this to him. And his goons was like, "Yeah, he was a good dude, that's kind of messed up." And I'm thinking to myself, y'all have no clue. Y'all know who Don is, right? Like, but it hasn't gone across anybody's mind that Don was the one that sent the man to meet the Grim Reaper. Like, come on, whatever. So Diana's home from the hospital, and she's basically letting Monet know that she needs to get Don's goon, Felicia. She was like, "It's on site." And Monet is like, "You need to calm down, Diana. I'm going to take care of this. You need to take your medication, and you need to just get you some rest." And I'm thinking to myself, so you got all this smoke, but you ain't have none of this energy and smoke to let this woman know you was pregnant when she was stomping you out. Like, girl, bye. Ain't nobody got time. So Tyreek goes and see his mom, and he popping up on Tasha like Tasha is a neighbor. You know what I'm saying? Like, she ain't in witness protection. Like, stop it. Anyway, he lets her know, the things that have been going on. And he also tells his mom about Diana, and that Diana was pregnant. She's like, "It was yours?" And he was like, "Yeah, she lost the baby." And Tasha is basically telling Tyreek, you just seem to be getting deeper and deeper into stuff when you said that you are trying to take a different route, a different path from your father. It's just like, you need to be careful. And we have Drew out in the prison courtyard, baby. He got his sights on his next victim. The dude was talking mad-ish, but baby, Drew took care of him. Okay. So Monet meets up with Don, and she basically lets him know, "Your girl Felicia is foul. She got to go." She tells him, she was like, "She got into a fight with my daughter. She caused my daughter to have a miscarriage. She lost my grandchild." And Don was like, "Diana was pregnant." He's like, he didn't know Diana was pregnant. And furthermore, he did not know that there was an altercation between Diana and Felicia. He was like, "You ain't touching my people." He said, "I will handle that myself. Don't you go nowhere near her." And so, of course, Monet ain't trying to hear that, because she's like, "Y'all, nah, I'm not letting this fly," because she calls harm to my daughter, to my family. And basically, Don was like, "F you." He was like, "You don't go nowhere near her. I'll take care of this. I'll do what I got to do. Let me handle it." So Kane goes to see Effie. He's checking up on her to make sure she's good after everything that happened with the Russians. And of course, Effie is trying to figure out her next move because she wants out. That was just too much, and she's basically ready to go. But so Kane asked her. He was like, "I'm just trying to figure out how the police knew to run up on the Russians and how they knew it was having that meeting." So they come up with a scheme to where they are going to break into the NYPD database. She was like, "I need a police officer's laptop in order to do that," because we all know Effie is a hacker. She can get into anything. So they come up with a scheme to figure out how they're going to infiltrate and get into the NYPD system to find out exactly how the police knew exactly where the Russians was going to be. So Effie and Kane pull up on Braden. Braden just got through snoring a couple lines, and Kane was like, "Man, you need to wipe your nose." They basically let Braden know that they need him to assist them in the plan that they're trying to carry out. So Don meets up with Felicia, and he basically is like, "What is going on? Why did you attack Diana?" And he was like, "Did you know she was pregnant because she had a miscarriage?" And the girl was like, "No, I didn't know she was pregnant. I had no idea." And she was like, "She was becoming a liability." And I'm thinking to myself, so you just gonna make an excuse for what you did? And Don asked her, he's like, "Are you doing drugs again?" And she was like, "No, no, I'm not doing drugs again." So he's trying to figure out, why were you talking to Diana outside of anything I tell you to do anyway? And she lets him know that she told Diana to go take care of old boy. And he was like, "But I didn't tell her to do that. I told you to do that." And Felicia was like, "Yeah, but I got called in by so-and-so. I had to go, talk to Sergeant or whoever about her dysfunctional behavior on the job." So Don finds out that Tyreek and Braden were the ones who took care of old boy. And he was like, "That was done in a safe house." And so Felicia shows him the footage, and he was like, "This is not good." And she was like, "No, I covered all our tracks. I made sure that this is the only copy. Everything else has been erased. It's been deleted." So we see Felicia get out of Don's car, and then we get a glimpse of Diana, who's been watching them this whole time. Diana, of course, did not stay her behind at home because the only person she's listening to at the moment are her emotions. Okay? So Brady and Effie and Kane, they end up going to this woman's house whose husband just so happens to be a police officer, who just so happens to not be at home, and who just so happens to have left his laptop. But anyway, they go to this woman and they are basically saying, "Hey, me and my boyfriend just got carjacked. We called the police. Can we come inside to wait? He's not feeling good." And Braden is like, "Oh my God, I think I'm going to pass out, whatever." And of course, he's bleeding from the head. So the lady goes ahead and let them come into her house. So while the lady is tending to Braden, Effie is like, "Where's your bathroom? I want to wash some of this blood off me, whatever." So she goes, she finds the last laptop miraculously. And of course, Braden, because he's high, he ends up telling her a different story. While the woman is tending to his wound, he ends up telling her a different story. So the woman is becoming a suspect. So she starts walking through her house. She hears the water running in the bathroom, and she keeps saying, knocking on the door, calling for Effie or whatever. Effie gave her a different name, but anyway, nonetheless, she's calling for her. And so Effie has to send a text to Kane to let him know, "Hey, you need to come in." And of course, Kane shows up pretending to be the police officer that they allegedly called when their car was allegedly jacked or whatnot. And they end up with able to get the information. Effie ends up being able to get the information on the disc, and they end up getting up out of there. So here we have Drew sending the inmate that he got into it in the prison yard. He sent old dude to meet the Grim Reaper, and he makes it look like the guy unalived himself. So Diana follows Felicia home, and she ends up getting into Felicia's house. Felicia sees her, Diana pointed the blicky at her, and she's like, "We can talk about this. You need to calm down." Diana was like, "It ain't nothing to talk about. You killed my baby, blah, 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 blah." They start fighting, and Diana almost got her ass beat again. Like, girl, I am not going to hold y'all. I really thought Diana was about to get up out of here. I thought that they were going to have this woman murk Diana. No cap. I really did. Like, seriously. So Diana finally finds her footing during the fight, and she gets Felicia on the ground, and she bashes her head in with a cast iron skillet. Honey, let me tell you, this was very messy and very gruesome, and I was here for it. Okay. So Diana calls Tyreek, and she was like, "I need you to get over here." She basically lets him know where she at. And baby, come to find out, why she downstairs bashing in Felicia's head with the cast iron skillet, Felicia's son is upstairs in the bed asleep. Child, a mess. So of course, Kane, he basically takes the information back to normal, once they find out about the police officers that were involved with running up on the Russians or whatnot. And he, somewhere in the conversation, he says to Norma, you should marry me. He was like, I know you need to get your U.S. citizenship. He was like, go ahead and marry me, and whatever paperwork, whatever you need me to sign, I'll take care of it for you. I'll do that for you. And I'm thinking to myself, I believe he's trying to do this because he knows that Effie really wants to get out. And I feel like he thinks that if he gets in Noma's good graces by doing her this big one, by marrying her, that maybe he'll be able to talk her into letting Effie out without there being any consequences. But I guess we'll see how that's going to go. So we go back to Diana and Tyreek. And Tyreek walks in. He sees the mess that Diana made. And he also, is aware that Felicia's son is in the house. So Diana is telling Tyreek, she was like, I thought it would make me feel better, taking her life. And she was like, I don't feel any better. It doesn't make me feel better. And Tyreek was like, that's what I was trying to tell you. He was like, I took out the people that harmed my sister and things like that. He was like, it doesn't go away. He was like, it's just going to still be there. So basically, Diana made a permanent decision based on temporary feelings, which is basically what Monet was trying to tell her, which is why Monet was like, you need to stay your behind in the house, take your meds, heal, and let me deal with it. But again, the only person Diana was listening to was her emotions. Okay. So Monet ends up showing up at Felicia's house. Miraculously, everyone is going to show up at Felicia's house, okay? And so Monet sees Felicia's body. Diana was like, Ma, her son is upstairs, and Monet was like, I'm going to take care of it. Diana like, what do you mean? What do you mean? It's just like, you just need to go, Diana. Don't worry about that. Monet is telling her, you need to get your behind up out of here. And baby, no sooner than Monet said that, here come Drew and Don walking through the door. So Don and Drew walked through the door, and Don, he pointed his blicky at Monet. He pointed at Tyreek and Diana, and they, got their hands up or whatnot. And baby, he sees old girl like that. He was like, I told you I was going to take care of this. So he's talking to Monet because he thinks Monet is the one that did it. And of course, Monet is not about to let him know that it was Diana. When I tell you, Don was pissed. He was pissed off. And Drew just standing there all calm and Don is telling her, she was like, your son told me the truth, something that you wouldn't do. He was like, you said that you didn't know where them drugs came from. You said you ain't know XYZ and that your supply dried up. And technically her supply did dry up because Norma ain't trying to deal with nobody but Norma at this point. But anyway, basically Drew then told Don the whole spiel. And so Don is a little pissed off. And he was like, the only reason why I'm not going to take care of you right now is because, your son basically is working for me, is what he should have just said, because that's what it's going to be. So this is basically where the episode ends, where Monet is like, what did you do, Drew? What did you do? And he was like, I did what I needed to do to save our family. So I guess we're going to find out exactly what him saving the family is going to entail, because if Don is involved, baby, it ain't going to be nothing but a bunch of chaos and confusion, okay? They say we have 3 episodes left, I guess, in total. I'm just curious as to what is going to happen, because I don't like the direction that Brayden is going in. I don't like the fact that they had to come up with this whole scenario just to have Diana get blood on her hands when she has been so adamant about not following in the footsteps of her family. Like, y'all didn't even have to have her get pregnant if this was going to be the outcome. Like, it just didn't make sense. It wasn't even necessary. Y'all could have did something else. But we're going to see what ends up happening. I honestly, I'm just here to watch at this point. I don't have any expectations. At one point, I thought that Drew was going to end up taking out Monet because he's sick and tired of her emasculating him and his brother Kane. But I don't know. It don't look like that's going to happen. I am curious if all of the Tejadas are going to survive. That I am curious to see. But I guess, time will tell with the next few episodes that are left. So we shall see. Okay. Well, that's all I have for you guys today. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate the support, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.